Hey everyone, Ariel Adams with aBlogtoWatch at MicroLUX Chicago. I'm joined with Adam Hodge from Farr and Swit. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so your brand, 2 models, brand new. How old is this company?
So we started in November of 2017 talking. We all met together in Chicago, kind of came up with a concept. We finally delivered these models out come May of this year. So they've been out, they've actually been live with May. It's a limited run. We got 250 black, 250 in the steel. And it's kind of the plan is to run a small batch of a different model here and there and keep it kind of limited.
Adam, you said that you and some people met here in Chicago. Who is we?
So if you look at our brand name, we've taken 3 pieces from each of us. So the Farr, which is my middle name, Farron, and kind of comes from my grandpa, Nelson Farron. The @ sign, or the plus sign, the actual design, is our jewelry designer. He's Andy Paetzel. We go with And then Swit is from Zachary Switowski, who's the other partner.
So it sounds like you have some background in watches, even though you started a brand. Tell me a little bit more about your background.
So I'll start my background at when I first got kind of hooked, right? So I'm on a cruise somewhere in the Bahamas, and I'm 18, and I walk by the shop, and it's got Citizen Pro Divers, and it's got this like loom face Pro Diver, and I like walk by, and then I remember coming back, and I was like, guys, I gotta go in the store. And I'm 18 years old. I think I bought the thing for $350, which was a ton of money for me at the time. But I got that, and then, people are commenting on it. I kind of get in from there. Then I go into like a Seiko Kinetic watch. Then I get into a ball, which is my first Swiss ETA movement. And I get hooked, and I'm doing, then I get into Watch Time magazines. I'm going on aBlogtoWatch. I'm going into Watch You Seek. I'm, running through and trying to pick up watches. Then I start slowly my collection kind of grows as I start to, increase my income and then start going to watch events, and it just kind of got into my veins. And I tell people it's kind of infectious, When you get a piece like this and you have that mechanical movement, like beating, like a heartbeat, it like runs through your body, runs through your blood. I don't know about you guys, but I actually get a faster pulse when I see a watch sometimes.
You were talking about this addictive quality of watches, and I'll share with you that when I first started aBlogtoWatch, one of the main reasons was I found that I had this desire to talk about watches every single day. Like a day could not go by where this wasn't going through my mind, and I found that my immediate circle didn't seem to share my passion.
Right.
So I had to go elsewhere. So I went one direction, you went another direction, but how does someone go from being a relatively new but hyper enthusiastic, consumer to saying I would actually like to build a brand? Because that's a big leap.
It is. So I guess I'm kind of a creator. I've been like a creator when I was younger. I used to make like t-shirts in junior high and sell them to people. And then I did I did a little hip hop artist at one point, And then I'm into watches, and I'm like, I kind of want to make one of these. I know that sounds crazy. I remember telling my family that I want to make a watch. And then I just kind of went down the path to exploring what can I do? Where can I pull this? I pulled those guys in, and kind of collectively we just made it happen.
Now, it's an interesting parallel with beers, right? Because there's plenty of beer out there. It's not like there's not enough beer, I better make some for myself. But there's something about expressing your character, your taste, your background, your values in beer and in a watch. And so you seem to be a serial creator. You have a lot of passion for the things you like. What are some of the values about you and maybe the rest of the names on there that you want people to think about when they're looking at your dial?
So what we kind of wanted to embody is, you can see we call it the seaplane, right? So with the seaplane, we all travel. Me, Zach, and Andy, we're big into traveling. We're big into exploring, trying new things, getting out of our comfort zone. And I think we want to do a pilot-diver combo. And then the seaplane kind of fit in perfectly with that. And they were like, that's kind of, ties into Indiana Jones and the whole idea of adventure. If you're on a seaplane, you're going somewhere fun, right? You're somewhere a little more unique, somewhere that you're going to have a good time. So for me, our tagline is always define your time. It means like make the most of your time, have fun, enjoy life, right? That's kind of what I want to embody is go exploring, go out of your comfort zone. For the most part though, take your time, because time is something we can't control, right? Take your time and make the most of it.
So tell me a little about this watch. This is the seaplane?
Yes.
And what is the price of this watch?
So the steel comes at $629, and then the PVD is $649.
Did you begin with a price point in mind, or did you begin with the design and a feature set?
So first our goal was, hey, what's a watch we can design that'll get our friends who tell me I got an Apple Watch or I got a phone, I don't need a watch. How do we hook those guys into the automatics? So yeah, we're like, let's try and get around 500. Then I started building it. I decided I wanted to bring manufacturing over to Mentor, Ohio. I wanted to have it assembled here. I want to get the bands, the strap from Barton. We're going to work with this box company in Florida. So all our, we start throwing the BGW9 Lume in there, and then the Swiss Solita automatic. The price kind of kept creeping up. So we had the price point was an idea in mind, but that was not top tier. It was basically build the watch that I want people to wear and get excited about, and then figure out where we can go, where we're comfortable, where we can get the price point, and still hook in new buyers, new watch people.
So you were inspired by seeing other people creating, I'll call them new brands, micro brands, if you will, and that gave you a sense of confidence that you could do the same. Now that you are in the space and you see this very rich and thriving micro environment of sort of startup brands, enthusiast-driven brands, as I say, you must think a few steps down the road. Where do you think this is all going from your perspective?
So for me, we're pumped. We're pumped up on this. It's rolling. We got a couple more models in mind. My goal is to keep rolling out small batches at a time.
Do you think that the future, and I'm sort of taking brands like yours collectively, because I think that your story, the Farr and Swit story, represents a lot of common threads of other stories. Started as a collector, very near after I got enthusiastic with watches, something clicked in my mind that I could do this too, actually went ahead and did it. And now you find yourself in a group of a lot of people who have the same idea. That means there's a movement, if you will, right? So where do you think this movement is going?
We'll draw it back to beer again, right? So beer has went from, I remember I go to Michigan, I was like, hey, these guys got awesome beers, and I don't see it sometimes in different parts of the country, to now, anywhere you go, you're gonna find a good microbrew pub of some kind and some type of special beer. And when I go to the beer store, even if I love, Victory Golden Monkey, I grab that 6-pack, right? So that's kind of where we're gonna be at, I think, as microbrands collectively, is people are going to be looking for something different. They're going to be grasping for, I want something new, I want something kind of unique, and you're going to have to keep reinventing it and keep people hooked in.
So there might be that person who never would have considered a Budweiser,
right?
But gets into the microbrew, gets excited by the diversity of personalities, and now possibly, and again, I'm making a guess, we don't know, but a new part of the population is going to be interested in watches because they represent these sort of micro stories, as opposed to just being into the generic large brands that say luxury, say success, but don't really have enough of a personality. Would you agree with that?
I would. For me, I just want to get guys hooked on watches, right? If you buy my watch and the next thing you buy is an Omega or even a Rolex, I'm happy. I just want people back into watches.
The brand is Farr and Swit. Adam, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Ariel.